Hi, 6th graders. Today we are doing chapter 8, lesson 7, which is the last lesson in the chapter, solving one-step inequalities. We've done one-step equations, now we're going to do inequalities. So, to start off with that, we're still going to use the same symbols that we were talking about in lesson 6 lesson. So, if I was solving this problem, now I know some of you can do it in your head, but I want to go over how you would solve these. Remember, we did the line, and you wanted the inverse or the opposite. So instead of adding 9, I would subtract 9 on both sides. This is now gone, and I'm left with P, bring down my symbol, equals 4. Okay, then I could actually take that number, plug it back in, 4 plus 9, yes, it equals 13, I know I'm correct. So, we know how to solve those. What we're going to do now is we're going to literally take a very similar equation, and I'm going to solve it. So if I have P plus 9 is less than 13. Okay, so it looks very similar to this one. So I'm going to solve it. So I'm going to draw my line right down the middle. I want to get rid of, I want P to be all by itself, so I'm going to minus 9 on both sides, just like we did over here. This is now gone. I'm left with P equaling 13 minus 9 will give you 4. Bring down my symbol. If you look at these two things, I solved them exactly the same. The only difference is this one's an equation, that one's an inequality. I get the same answer. Now, they don't mean the same. This means P equals just 4. So when I do the inequality, because then you have to graph them, my 4 is going to be right in the middle. That's my answer. That's the only answer it could be. 4 is the only answer that would make that true. We know, though, with the inequalities, 4, if that's my middle and I have 5 and, let's say, 3, I know that I'm going to then circle it on 4, and then what's less than 4, so let's say 3, make it true, then I shade it. That means it has infinitely many answers. It has more than one. Okay, it has plenty of answers it could be. So, you solve them exactly the same. The only difference is this one's an equal sign, this one has a less than sign. And then my answer, this one only has one answer, this one has infinitely many answers. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to do 4 problems, one adding, one subtracting, one multiplying, one dividing. To go over these, you're going to solve them and then graph them. Okay, so again, as the last lesson, if you want to follow along with me, you can. The lesson starts on page 635. I think I have you doing the first page as kind of a quick check like you normally do in class. If you want to follow along with me in the book, on page 636, we're going to do, the first set is adding and subtracting, the second set is multiplying and dividing. So we're going to start on the bottom example. So the first one is going to be, so this is letter A. This is on page 636 if you want to follow along. It's going to be n plus 2 is less than or equal to 5. Okay, so my first job is going to be to solve it, and then I'm going to graph it. So each question has 2 steps. So, draw my line. I want to get n all by itself, so I'm going to do the inverse. So instead of plus 2, I'm going to do minus 2 on both sides. That gets rid of that. I'm left with n. Bring down my exact symbol. 5 minus 2 would give me 3. There's my answer. Okay, and then I'm going to take that, and then I'm going to graph it. You always have to solve it before you graph. So then I'm going to put 3 in the middle, and I'm only going to put one number on each side. On your worksheet, they're blank, and you get to fill in the numbers. If you're writing them by hand, that's as many as you need to put. So, my number is 3, so I'm going to circle that. Now, as we talked about yesterday, we're going to back up. As we talked about in the last lesson, if it includes that number, so if I look, 3 is less or equal to 3, so that means it includes it, so I'm going to shade it in. Okay, I'm going to shade that one in. And then it has to be less than, so let's say, what number is less than 3? It'd be 2. 2 is less than or equal to 3, which would make it true, so I'm going to shade in that way. Again, these are the ones that look kind of messy, the inequalities. That means anything on the number line that is less than 3, including 3, would be true. Okay? Alright, let's go to the next one. Next one is letter B, which is y minus 3 is less than 9. Okay, so I'm going to take that, draw my line down the middle. Opposite of minus 3 would be plus 3 on both sides. That's now gone. Y is greater than 9 plus 3 is going to give me 12. So there's my inequality. Now to graph it, draw my line. 12 goes right in the middle. I'm going to do 13 and 11. If you want to do extra ones, you can. Circle's going to go right on 12. Now on this one, is 12 greater than 12? No, it's not, so it's going to stay open. Okay, again, these two are the open ones, those two are the closed ones, if that helps you. Okay, Now I'm thinking, what number could I plug in that would be greater than 12? I'm going to do 13. 13 is greater than 12, so that means I shade that direction. I'll shade that way. And again, these are the messy ones, and that's okay. Okay, so again, first I solve, then I graph. And the graphing is exactly what you're doing is you're taking this lesson, you're solving it, so then you graph like you did in lesson 6. Alright, so now we're going to get a little bit trickier because they're multiplication and division ones. Sometimes they're a little bit harder. Alright, let's see. The next one we're going to do is letter C. Letter C is going to be, this one's on page 637. Letter C is 10x is less than 80. So I'm going to draw my line. Right now this is a multiplication problem. So I want to do the inverse or the opposite. The opposite of multiplication would be division. Divide by 10 on both sides. That means this is going to cancel out. I'm left with x is less than. 80 divided by 10 would give me 8.
I got 8.
My little visitor's back. Alright, and then so I'm going to graph it just like I did in my last ones. 8 is my number. 8 goes right in the middle. 9 and 7. Circle on 8. Does it include 8? 8 is not less than 8, so can't include it. A number that is less than 8, I'm going to go 7, which would make it true. I'm going to shade that direction. Okay, so that means any answer on the number line, it could be 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Any of those would make it true. Alright, last one. So this one's going to be a division one. And again, these should all look very similar. The only difference is they're no longer equal signs. They are inequalities. Alright, letter D is x divided by 6 is greater than or equal to 7. Okay. Alright, last one. So, draw my line. It is a division problem. So I have to do the inverse, which is multiplying by 6. So I know we kind of did the circle method. If you want to do it, instead of dividing by 6, you're going to times by 6 on both sides. That means that's gone. I'm left with x is greater than or equal to 7 times 6 is 42. Okay, now again, on the number line, you're not going to put every single number on. I'm going to start with 42 because again, any number line, you can just chunk it and just take one small section. So I'm going to start 42 right in the middle, 43, 41, circle it. Does it include 42? Is 42 greater than or equal? Yes, it is, so I'm going to shade it in. And then it's a number that's larger than 42, so 43, is 43 greater than or equal to 42? Yes, so I'm going to shade that direction. Okay? Alright, that one's pretty messy, but that's okay. Make your arrow as big as you need to. Okay. Alright, so what you're going to do now is, again, in that third section of your notebook, you are going to do the worksheet. So we did lesson 6, now we're doing lesson 7. The worksheet looks like this. Now, you are solving them, and then they give you a blank number line. If you have a printer, print it out. If not, you can just do them in your notebook. That's what I did. Make sure you solve them first, then graph them. You can't do both at one time. So solve them and graph them. So tonight you're just going to do the evens. I think this is the first night. Odds is the second night. Solve them and then graph them after that. Okay? So hopefully everything's making sense so far. Inequalities are kind of fun. They look messy, but that's what they're supposed to look like. So hopefully things are going well. And Brian, you want to come say hi?
I got you.
You want to come say hi?
I got you.
No, he doesn't want to come say hi. Okay. Have a wonderful rest of your day. See you later.
Bye.